Hello, and thank you for watching this brief LCPtracker tutorial created by Denver Labor for city contractors working on Denver construction projects. This training is brought to you by Denver Auditor Timothy O'Brien. I am Candace McKeon Eldred, a prevailing wage labor compliance supervisor. In this tutorial, I will show you the steps to submit your first payroll record in LCPtracker. Remember, all contractors and subcontractors on city projects must submit their workers' payroll data to ensure compliance with Denver's prevailing wage ordinance. Our Denver labor analysts and technicians review 100% of payrolls and work with contractors to resolve any issues. This tutorial is a mock contractor interface built for training purposes. Before submitting payroll records, please make sure you have your employee's information, including the employee register, pay stub, check detail, and time cards. We also recommend allowing pop-ups in your browser setting. Once you log into LCPtracker, click on the first tab with the label 1 Payroll Records, and then click the first box or option named Enter Records. In the first field, please enter the last day of the week you are submitting your payroll record. Select the correct project from the drop-down and choose the employee. In LCPtracker, you must enter information for each employee's payroll one at a time. After selecting the employee, on the window there may be a list of craft and classification options to select. Based on the work being performed, if the correct craft and classification option is on this page, please select and click Next. So you would select this craft or classification and select Next. There may be more than one option if the employee has worked on multiple projects or worked multiple classifications. If the correct craft and classification need to be added, add classification. The options available will depend on how your project was set up in the system. Our prevailing wage analysts and technicians will have already assigned the wages and classifications to the project. On this window, you'll choose the construction type and craft in the drop-down. Please click on the correct construction type and craft based on the work that's being performed. The construction type is based on where the area of work is being performed. For example, a building, for work under a building classification, it would be for work being performed within the footprint of the building. Another example would be heavy, for work being performed in a park. Once the construction type and craft have been selected, click Select and Add Selected. This will take you back to the payroll record entry page. Select the craft and classification and click Next. If you need an apprentice classification, contract the assigned analyst or technician. Now you will see the main payroll entry form. If your project is an on-call or master purchase order, you must select a work order. Next, Enter the base hourly rate for your employee and the overtime rate. Down on the same page, you can enter the number of hours worked for each day on this project. You should get this information from your employee's time card. In the chart, you will see total hours worked on this project. The box Total Hours All Projects Worked, you will need to enter the number of hours the employee worked that week on all projects, city projects and other projects. For this example, all hours were worked on the city project. Up on the same page, on the left of the screen, enter the gross employee pay for this project. The gross employee pay this project is calculated by multiplying the hourly rate by the hours your employee worked during the week. Remember, the gross employee pay this project should include both regular time and overtime. In the next section, down the page, you will calculate the value of fringe benefits for which contractors can claim credit. Fringe benefits requirements are met when you submit a master fringe benefits spreadsheet to PW Fringes at denvergov.org and received an approved total fringe amount, and/or you paid an hourly rate in lieu of fringes. There are two ways to enter approved fringe benefits. If you entered fringe benefit information in the employee setup, just click Calculate Fringes button on the right side. If you did not enter the information on the setup page, add it manually in each field, such as vacation holiday, health and wellness, all other, and training. Manually enter the total amount approved for the specific fringe, not the hourly amount. If your approved fringe credits are not enough to meet the prevailing wage rate, you'll need to pay the employee a rate in lieu of fringes amount. Move to the top of the page and enter an hourly rate paid in lieu of fringe benefits in the top section on the right hand of the screen. Then on the left side, enter the wages paid in lieu of fringe benefits. The wages paid in lieu of fringes is calculated by multiplying the hourly rate in lieu of fringes by the total number of hours worked on this project. Please note, if the rate you pay your employee is less than the approved prevailing wage, your Denver labor analyst or technician will receive a notice after you submit your payroll and will notify you of restitution owed. Now it's time to learn how to report the paycheck deductions. Scroll down to the last section of the page and fill out paycheck information. Please enter each deduction. If there is a value in the other field, you are required to enter an explanation in the amount in the other deductions note. I'm going to be entering some values just for the purposes of this training. These are the other deduction values taken directly from the employee's pay stub. I am going to have a value here in other deductions, which does require me to add notes. Now enter the gross pay all projects, the net paycheck amount, and the check number and the date you issued the check to the employee. Once again, these values are going to be calculated as the gross pay all projects is for all hours worked on all projects, not just the city project. Your net paycheck amount is going to be your gross pay minus your deductions. If you do not have a check number and you use direct deposit, you're going to type DD in this field for the check number. And then this is the date the check was issued to the employee. Now you can click Save. If there are notices, a box will pop up like this one. You can review the payroll record for corrections or proceed. To enter another employee, click Yes when the box appears on the screen, or if the information you provided was for the last employee, then click No. Before submitting the payroll to your analyst or technician, first you need to certify it. Click on the third tab, Certification. From the drop-down, select the project. Confirm activity to be reported this week. Enter the weekend date. Then enter the payroll number. On the top of the page, you will see the previous payroll number you submitted for this particular project. Please continue in chronological order. Then add your name and your title, and then click Next. This may take a moment to load. Read through the certification terms and use your password to e-sign. If this is the last payroll for this job, click the box labeled Check Here if final certification and then Save. Click Yes or No for the subcontractor acknowledgement. This box should pop up and then you need to add your e-signature. And hit Save. A box should pop up with a confirmation that you can save your records. Click OK. The password to e-sign is usually the same password you used to log in. If you have forgotten your e-signature password, you can set it under the Setup tab. then click Edit Reset e-signature. You can also find the payroll report by visiting the Reports tab at the top of the page and clicking the Certified Payroll Report. Remember, you can always return to that box and download the Certified Payroll Report in the future. In our next tutorial video, we will explain how to fix a payroll error. Thank you for watching and complying with Denver's prevailing wage requirements.